Okay, you join the footage again. This is part 2 of the complex defense. By this point, it's getting pretty tired, to be honest. It's just this continual ebb and flow of battle, and I've been trying to keep the turrets up, and I think at this point we're getting hit by a lot of tanks, so I figured to myself, right, let's get a tank and let's go kill stuff. Still running the engineer skin. I think it's best to do engineer, obviously, if you're doing vehicles. I'm willing to be corrected on that, but I just generally feel the ability to repair is, well, it's pretty important. And again, favouring the Prowler for an anti-tank gun. Obviously, the Lightning obviously fires quite a good collection of rounds, but the Prowler just does more damage. And yeah, as you can see here, it's become a bit of a, I guess, a tank versus tank battle. And you can see people sneaking in around the side, so if I fire at something weirdly, you know I'm shooting at. But yeah, it's just this, I mean, this game is so cool, and it is free. I mean, that's the thing that I really stress. If you fancy something free, this is just an amazing game, and you can pick it up, drop it, and play something else for a bit, come back to it, and it's just so good. So big supporter. So yeah, basically the Varnu are still pushing on this base. As you can see, they've got some pretty pro tanks out there. They're doing a lot of damage to the Lightnings, and you can see they're starting to whittle us down. But again, I think a lot of people, okay, that tank's dead, just move away, seriously. I think there's some quite interesting battles going on. Obviously we've got fair few tanks here, but again, I think it's one of these games, I think, is a real kind of tipping point. You know, most games I've played, I mean, if I think of Eve and, you know, some of the other sort of Mamorgs I've played, to be honest, if you enter a fair fight, you're playing it wrong. And that's always been a frustration of mine, is that it really just overwhelming force is the only thing that matters. So most of the time, you may not even actually have a battle. It's, you know, a bit like Braveheart when they face off against the English. It's just like, oh, you know, without cavalry, you're not going to do it. And I like it when you kind of get the underdogs who actually do step up and really do hammer it home to the opposing force, the overwhelming opposing force. But and I think PlanetSide is one of those. I mean, you know, we can be outnumbered, you can be outgunned, but you can still win if you've got a tight, clever group of people working as an outfit, repairing tanks, respawning tanks properly, respawning aircraft, and everything. I mean, I just think there's very little other games out there that really give you that, I guess, that tipping point, and the tipping point in this game is pretty fragile. So and I like that. I think it's and I think it's a good thing that, you know, you're not kind of, you know, steamrolled or whatever you want to call it. Because there's nothing more frustrating. Eve is just a great example of where, you know, numbers generally do matter. This is why the coalitions that are joining, or rather forming in the game, they're kind of just getting bigger and bigger and bigger because the other person's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's almost like, you know, EVE Online, you know, capsule proliferation to a degree, because there's just, you know, you just want to outnumber your enemy. Which is a bit of a shame, but hey, that's the way it is. To be honest, it's like any kind of RPG, RTS, where, you know, you just keep making the units and then just and I don't like that. I think sometimes there has to be a reward for clever, you know, ingenuitive playing and tight teamwork. It's a bit frustrating if you just get destroyed by 100 noobs all kind of rolling in the same direction, as opposed to 20, you know, well disciplined and teamwork players. I think there has to be that reward for it. And I think PlanetSide does give you that. I think there's a real, you know, I just think that the tipping points can be quite interesting. And I think certainly with this battle we're fighting, you can see we've basically been just blasting their tanks. Every time their tanks come near, we just absolutely blast them back to their respawn. They've got a huge amount of anti-tank infantry as well, so this is why it's yeah, a bit risky. So the battle continues. I mean, it's just an amazing to and fro. They're actually now coming at us with basically a lot of anti-tank infantry, I think we'd actually thinned out their ability to actually field a great number of tanks, and this was again just basically firing and shooting as much as we could. But again, they're slowly making their way around, and they're hitting the generators as well. As you can see, the shield just went down. So, you know, there's always that kind of risk that we lose our little bit of an advantage, which we just did there. And obviously I'm running away because I'm not stupid. Basically, yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic game, really. I really, you know, these are the kind of matches you kind of wish for. So I think this is why we're holding our ground. We're not giving up. Basically, just firing shell after shell at them. One of the observations, again, I probably have is I think a lot of people generally stick with the anti-tank fit. Not many people use anything else. I think the standard probably has become anti-tank. As you can see, the generator just kicked in again. That guy just got a round in the face. I don't know why he still makes me laugh when you shoot a high velocity round into somebody's face. Oh, I know it's a stick, but it does make me chuckle. Wow, so are these like cockroaches, look. So just finish these guys off. Nasty. But yeah, gotta love it. I just think you can never kind of get hold of just shooting people with high powered tank shells. Oh man, what's this guy doing? Oh, lucky guy, lucky guy. So yeah, just rolling still. Engineering again, I think is I think when you're running vehicles, obviously the engineer is still key one. I would just say, I mean, I think there is an overuse of the anti-vehicle one. It's a little bit overpowered as well. I mean, I think, well, I think it's almost a little bit too easy to basically just do anti-tank. Then again, tanks can be overpowered. I think if you've got too many of them, it's a little bit unfair. I don't know, maybe the balance is probably about right. I wouldn't say it's off either way. As you can see, yeah, just rolling and repping as we go. They're really hitting this gate pretty hard, and I think we've only really got 3 or 4 tanks now kind of defending it. So as you can see, they've got another tank up, got a few vehicles in the air as well. Let's see if we can take this dude out. Again, really hitting it hard. It's it's quite a challenge, trying to do hit and run tactics like that. But you can just see how many people we're now looking at. So I think ebb and flow again. This is what I was saying. I think we're slightly outnumbered, probably outgunned. They've got tanks again. So yeah, I think we're looking quite good here. Another tank down. That's not good. No, in fact, I think I'm the only one left. No. But this is again one of the wonderful things of the game. The logistics of how you can spawn things, and I guess the time delays. I think they've really thought about that. So there is no really kind of I win continual spamming of the best stuff, because you just can't do that. I think you can. Oops, hello. So that guy shooting through a window. Okay. Oh man. So there we go. So infiltrate is always a problem. I mean, I love the whole infiltration piece. I think it's an absolutely brilliant concept. But yeah, I think this base defense is getting a bit shaky now. I think we're slowly running out. The tanks are starting to take a real beating, and they're really overrunning. As you can see, we've got a generator down as well. So I think it may be only a matter of time before this is out. However, we've got Sunder up. So yeah, I think. I do kind of really appreciate the way that you do have to kind of work as a team as well. So you have to have Sunderer logistics, you have to have tanks and vehicles and airplanes and so on. And I think there's a real kind of charm about that. I think too many games nowadays, they kind of just kind of direct you through the whole process of, right, go to this level, then this level, then this. And I think obviously there's nothing in PlanetSide that tells you what you've got to do, but it's kind of intuitive. Again, pretty rare for a game not to really have any instructions of go here, do that. But once you do, or once you rather kind of step out into the world, you do kind of fit into a role, and I think you do that automatically as well. Also, I think it's just amazing how they've done the kind of army logistics as well, because most people are in different outfits, different squads. I don't think there's hardly any VoIP comms or anything like that. Yet people still kind of figure it out. Everyone kind of sees where people are going, you see where the Sunderers are based, you know, you spawn into a particular location. And again, I don't know many games where you have that kind of, I guess, unspoken synchronicity, to be honest, because you certainly don't get it in other games. You know, you'd have to communicate and talk. In all games, really, you'd have to kind of really understand what on earth is going on. Whereas in this, it's kind of intuitive, really, because you are on one side, they're on the other, and yeah, you just kind of see where your fellow compadres are going, and you go join them. So I think there's again something quite, I think, special about that, because it's easy. You can just walk into the game, and you know, you're not really having to think about what to do. I'm in a tank, I can see enemies, let's shoot them until they're dead, and then we'll move to another part of the map where there'll be more enemies and we'll shoot them until they're dead. So I think that's clever, really. I think, you know, it's a kind of nice, you know, kind of nice part of the game, because you're not kind of being given orders all the time. You're not being told, you know, defend this, do that, do this. And I just think, again, there's not enough games like that where... Oh, what's that? Okay, that wasn't good, that hurt. And you can see the sun's starting to come up, so again, this has been a battle all the way through the night. And now it looks like the sun's starting to come up. Yep, let's get this tank repaired. So I think this tank's been going for quite a while now, and that's quite a, you know, an accomplishment considering the amount of damage it's taken. I must have repped it about 5 or 6 different times now. I think every time I rep it, yep, see, you can get a shot again. It doesn't last long, unfortunately, but well, no, it does. It lasts very long, but I think I have to just then move it and get it repaired again and blah blah blah. And it's, oh man, a lot of tanks coming out now. That's good news. And I think that's a really nice thing, you know, the kind of careful management of the tank, and that has become part of the game. You know, you can't just roll the tank in and expect to get, you know, the kills you need. You're like, oh crikey, I'm actually taking the right beating here. I can't even see what's hitting me. Okay, not good. I think our defences of the gate have not given up. Wow, we've got like 4 or 5 tanks sat around the spawn bit. What on earth are they doing? Anyway, who cares? Let's wreck this baby. So again, you can see one of the generators is down. It's the other one this time. And it looks like they're fighting a valiant effort to keep it up. Otherwise we lose our shields. Let's just keep this tank rolling and keep getting the kills. And I'll do my part for the TR, really. I mean, that's really the beauty of the game, is that you just continually, you know, kind of fight, you do your role, you do your job. If you're a sniper, you keep sniping. I'm an engineer, so I'm just going to repair everything that comes across. And I like that. I think, again, it's role-based warfare, where, you know, again, it's an unspoken bond of what you're supposed to do. So I think that's a nice feature of the whole premise, really. Right, so we're rearmed as well, and the generator's repaired, awesome. So I think this one is actually kind of going our way. I mean, there's still a huge amount of people, but I do believe that there's a massive TR force here now as well. So we've got pretty much most of the exits, or rather the entrances, covered. And really, again, everything is still hitting that gate. So we've got now 4 tanks, we've got some area units, obviously causing us trouble. But you can see basically, you know, it's just really about keeping them out, keeping the pressure on, taking out their tanks. Really, it does become a superiority thing. So if we can take out their tanks, great. If we can take out their aircraft, even better. And I think this is where, again, they can have all the infantry in the world, but they do have to kind of back it up. You know, even if they get to the generators. Oh wow, that guy's great. Let's see if we can hurt him. Oh yes. Oh man, I took some serious damage then. Oh, I didn't see the tank. Ooh, there we go. Hope you enjoyed that. Again, it was a fantastic battle. We'll see you next time.